Good evening, basketball fans, and welcome to Marcus Pavilion. My name is Scott Gladstone. Alongside me is Sean Wally. Welcome to not the start of conference play, but really the start of the grind of conference play. We only have a couple days left in 2022 before we enter 2023, and the Great Northwest Athletic Conference men's and women's basketball seasons will be deep underway, it feels like, after this week. And we got some big matchups in men's basketball this week. We'll talk plenty today about the big one on Saturday. But this game has one of those feelings. You can't overlook it if you're St. Martin's. And if you're Simon Fraser, they're going to come in, and I'm sure they're going to give it a heck of a game tonight. Let's talk about these two squads in terms of Simon Fraser and St. Martin's battling here at Marcus Pavilion. Both of them, they have the layoff, of course, through the Christmas holiday season there. And their last couple games, they each played 3 games in a row in Hawaii, and they were the most successful teams in Hawaii there. They both emerged with a 2-1 record and looked pretty good. However, one of their mutual opponents, Chaminade, Simon Fraser got the better of, where St. Martin's came up short in overtime.
Simon Fraser definitely is a team that you can't overlook. You said it, Scott. They're 5-6 on the season. They have the one conference loss already to Western Washington earlier this month. But really, you sweep that under the rug because now this is why you grind. This is why you have the two-a-days. This is why you put in all the work in the gym for the conference season that really begins tonight.
Yeah, and the freshman from Niagara Falls, Ontario, Emmanuel Uladele, he's leading the way, and he's one of those key contributors for the Red Leafs.
A great combo guard at 6'6", plays both guard and forward, leading the team in scoring, averaging over 10 points per game. A surprise straight out the gate for Simon Fraser.
Yeah, and named to the first team of the Hoops in Hawaii Classic. On the other side, Kyle Greeley. He's Mr. Consistency. He's one of the top shooters in the country in terms of his field goal percentage. And, it's almost like clockwork that you're going to expect him to score 15 or so a game and contribute really in all facets of the Saints offense.
You say 15, he's averaging just over 16, but you knew that. Greeley shooting over 60% from the field, over 38% from three, I believe. Just an amazing shooter. He works on his craft every single day.
Yeah, this is going to be a great matchup. The start of the home session of conference play here, and you never know what you're going to expect around the holiday season, and it looks like a pretty good crowd filling it out despite the lack of a student section here. No game is easy in this Great Northwest Athletic Conference. We're doing our first GNAT game of this season. I'm doing my first GNAT game ever. Somebody like you who knows it, and you know this Simon Fraser squad well, What's kind of their brand of basketball and just in general, what do they usually bring to the floor? I know that head coach Aaron Landon is very wary of their defense and their height, their wingspan, just the athleticism they have on that side.
Over the years, they've had a lot of size. You mentioned the height, and that'll be something that Coach Landon and the team will have to deal with, and we'll see how they can combat the size, but also Simon Fraser scores a lot, averaging over 71 per game, so this could be a shootout.
Yeah, let's get ready for it. We'll strap up. We'll see the national anthems of both Canada and America. We'll get the starting lineups, and we'll be right back to bring you Simon Fraser versus St. Martin's here from Marcus Pavilion.
6'1" junior, number 3, David Penny. 6'6" freshman, number 5, Emmanuel Aludela. A 6'5" senior, number 15, Jamal Wright. A 6'4" sophomore, number 20, Ellie B. McEllican. And a 6'8" sophomore, number 34, Georgia Lafitte. Steve Hansen is 7 feet as your head coach, assisted by Adele Sahib Zada, Ziad Hula, and Mastan Dra'a, and Ivan Yakov. And now, ladies and gentlemen, it's time to get on your feet to meet the stage. A 6'2" senior from Bronx, New York, Gerald Brandon Bunn. A 6'5" junior from St. Memorial, number 5 is Kyle Grady. 5'10" sophomore from Salem, Oregon, number 11, Jake Field Skinner. 6'8" junior from Tacoma, Washington, number 13 is Nathaniel Stokes. And a 6'8" junior from St. Croix, Virgin Islands, number 32 is Shaquem Alcindor. In his third season, your head coach, Mr. Aaron Manning, assisted by Tyler Vasquez and Wesley Reynolds.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. The starting lineups are read. Both national anthems are played, and we are just about ready to open GNAC basketball for the 22-23 season here at Marcus Pavilion. The St. Martin Saints have played 2 conference games. They emerged from their trip to Nampa, Idaho, and Ellensburg, Washington, undefeated in conference action. The Red Leafs have played just 1 game against their kind of travel buddy, Western Washington, and they lost in Bellingham. Tip 1 by Shaquem Alcindor. We're underway here. The last time that men's basketball was played, GNAC men's basketball was played on this floor against 2 GNAC teams. You called that game. Alaska Fairbanks winning the conference title. First bucket is up and in from Shaquem Alcindor.
Always great to get to host the GNAC tournament, which St. Martin's did in March.
Yeah, and I know Aaron Landon he felt that personally, that he let the fans down by not being able to bring home the tournament crown at home when we hosted here in Lacey. 3-pointer on the way, offline, rebound Alcindor. Brandon Bunn wide open. Misses that one. Rebound goes to the Red Leafs. That's Elliot DeMaculangan.
Say that 3 times fast.
There's going to be a time when I'm going to have to, and it's going to hurt. The starters, other than DeMaculangan, are David Penny, Emmanuel Oludele, as there's a dunk thrown down by George Lefebvre, who is another one of the starters. Jamal Wright is the only one that I have not mentioned the name of. There's a near turnover. Shaquem Alcindor gets it back and kicks it to Brandon Bunn as they slow it down. Now Stokes for 3. Stokes can't get it to go down. Rebound goes to the Red Leafs. 3-pointer on the way. This is Penny who drains the hatch. 5-2 in the early going. Simon Fraser in front. They're coming out in a 2-3 defense, it looks like. Stokes with it. The combatant that Aaron Landon is using as Skinny fires from 3, rebound to KG. Looks to be a 4-out, 1-in with Shaquem Alcindor being the man in. This one's kicked out to KG. Now Brandon Bunn will drive, and it'll be an errant pass stolen by the Red Leafs. They come down, slowed up by Skinny. Jamal Wright drives inside. Foul will be called on Nathaniel Stokes. First foul of the contest.
Early on, things going right for Simon Fraser, doing the little things right, running the floor, finding the open man. early three-point lead. Looking to add to that is Wright.
2 shots at the line. Again, first shot on Nathaniel Stokes. And we got our first sub coming up as it looks like Veljko Ilić will sub in for Shaquem Alcindor.
It's awfully quick. Wonder what Coach Landon saw
Yeah, I mean,
to make the switch.
I think Alcindor was just, from what I saw, it looked like he was just grinding inside and already tired from, being that one big in the 4-out, 1-in offense against that 2-3 zone, which of course regularly is meant to limit the post presence there. Skinny drives inside. He's on that lower left block. Kicked out to Bunn. Around to Greeley. Greeley for 3. Greeley nails the 3. And KG is off the mark in this conference home opener.
We talked about Kyle shooting in the open. It's a good sign for St. Martin's if he can heat up.
Veljko Ilić now playing defense on George Lefebvre. And Lefebvre finds a way to put it in off glass. 9-5 here with 17 minutes to go in the first half. Saints in home games that we've had here as KG fires another 3 and downs it again. Right when I was about to say it, well, they've had some slow starts against Capilano. They didn't come out great, the Saints did. Same with Evergreen State. Both those games they ended up winning really easily. But the Saints have not lifted off really easily. This one's out off the hand of Veljko Ilić just barely, but he disagreed with the referee. First sub in now for the Red Leafs. And that's Jimmy Zaborniak that comes in.
These names on the Simon Fraser roster are going to put us to the test tonight.
They sure are. That one's a reverse made by Elliot Demaculangan. Apologize to all the families who, in the heat of the moment, we might botch and we'll hopefully try and correct at some point. Skinny from the elbow. Puts it in. Saints are in man-to-man on the other side. Have not seen Simon Fraser move out of the 2-3 zone. Bunn guarding David Penny. Now out to Lefebvre. And driving and kicking it up to Jamal Wright. And that one's off of Wright and out off the Red Leafs. Our first media timeout. St. Martin's down 1 with 15:47 to go. Back here, it's 15:47 to go. The host Saints have an early 11-10 deficit here. Leading the way in scoring is Kyle Greeley, 2 for 2 from three-point land in his 4 minutes on the court. He's also got a rebound and an assist. Skinny, he'll try from 3, and he'll put it in. And the Saints have their first lead of the contest after the Jaden Nielsen-Skinner 3 ball.
Dangerous shot as he had the taller defender on him on the switch, but he got a high arc over the defender and through the basket.
There's a three-pointer on the way, and answering right back, that is George Lefebvre, I believe. The big man showing that he can shoot from downtown. Brandon Bunn will drive. He'll put it up over Lefebvre and in. Lead goes back to the Saints.
Just 5 minutes in, feels like a heavyweight fight already.
We're going to see Hafner, Champ Spencer, as well as Hunter Sipe all check in, as well as a Red Leaf who I cannot identify. This one is missed but out off Nathaniel Stokes. The Red Leaf coming in is Victor Radachai. Radachai out of Richmond, BC. Velko Illich will be one of the players relieved of his duties. Now the big on the court right now for the Saints is Champ Spencer out there.
2 to shoot.
Yeah, shot clock has expired. Simon Fraser not aware that they didn't get any sort of reset shot clock on that ball that went out off Nathaniel Stokes, and that's because the missed shot did not touch the rim. And so the bench, obviously, especially in the first half when you're on the opposite side from your bench, they had no idea they needed to fire one up and got caught napping there. Saints will get possession, up one here, just one foul in the first 5 minutes committed. Christian Hafner into the game. He's a three-point spot-up specialist, so watch for him against this 2-3 zone that it seems like Simon Fraser has now moved out of. Skinny all over the place, misses the shot, rebound Sipe, and then he missed it. Rebound goes to Nigel Hilton.
Good defense by the Red Leafs. See if they can regain the lead.
Hafner is battling down low with the much larger Victor Radachai, but an errant pass as, man, Hafner was working down there, just keeping an elbow in his midsection, and eventually forced the turnover. Skinny will bring it up. Again, man-to-man defense by Simon Fraser, and they got David Penny, their shortest player on the floor, guarding Kyle Greeley. There's a missed three-pointer from Hunter Sipe. Rebound goes to the Red Leafs.
Saints 3 of 7 from 3.
Penny with it, guarded by Hafner, guarding number 3. Now it's Skinny on Zaborniak. Ball goes down low to the post again. Another bad pass there that leads to a turnover. Sipe, he'll shoot for 3. That's on the mark. Three-pointer, 18-14, and they put it down as a fast break bucket as well. Simon Fraser scoreless in over 2 minutes, and that's going to cause head coach Steve Hansen to call a timeout. We'll be right back as the Saints have a 4-point lead with just over 13 to go. Back here, 13:08 to go. Just a quick 30-second timeout taken by Steve Hansen. This is his 7th season. He took the head coaching job not too long after he graduated from Simon Fraser back in 2013.
He liked the school so much, he decided to stay and get paid.
That'll do. Simon Fraser, of course, the only Canadian school in the NCAA. So long two-pointer put up by David Penny and sunk.
Red Leafs not backing down to one of the top teams in the conference and the West region.
They're the top NCAA team in Canada, I can guarantee you that. They do play a couple of the Canadian schools. the Red Leafs. There's a three-pointer. Missed off back iron. Sipe didn't follow his shot. Rebound goes to Hilton. Zaborniak nearly walked, but then kicked it out. The three ball goes in from Nigel Hilton. 6'8" freshman from Toronto gives the Red Leafs back the lead.
How about a 75% clip from beyond the arc for Simon Fraser?
They are sitting pretty pretty right now. That one's put back and in. That's Kyle Greeley who puts St. Martin's back in front. He has 8 on the day now to lead all scores, just ahead of Lefebvre. Hilton, strong move inside, but put too much on it. Rebound goes to Greeley. Kicked out to Sipe. Sipe will drive. He'll try and do a little fancy little dish off to champ Spencer, who puts it in. Good pass from Sipe.
Spencer, right place, right time, and active when it could have been a turnover.
Red Leafs setting up their offense. Active defense from the Saints. They seem to be switching on almost everything. That leaves champ Spencer guarding Zaborniak, who just misses the three-pointer. Skinny now being guarded by a much bigger foe. Put that one high, and it's missed, and eventually it goes off of the Red Leafs. Hunter Sipe with pretty textbook hustle that you see from him every time he steps on the floor. He forces another possession for the Saints. It's a 3-point lead as we'll take another break. Don't go anywhere on the Saints Digital Network. Back here, Skinny will inbound. He hits Sipe. Sipe with a pump fake. Nearly traveled, then kicked out to Spencer. Now Greeley. Greeley drives. Greeley back to Spencer. Spencer for 3, and he sinks it. A chaotic possession that maybe could have had a couple turnovers in there, but ends up working out to give the Saints a 6-point lead.
Simon Fraser bench, not sure how that wasn't a travel.
And now it's Zaborniak with it. He kicks to Lefebvre. Lefebvre offline. Rebound Hafner. Skinny out to Sipe. Sipe. They'll call a walk on him that time, which I thought that one was less of a walk than maybe the last time he had that ball in the corner, but I guess the law of averages, right? We have a bunch of different men's basketball games in action throughout the GNAC tonight. And now that we're into conference play, we can start paying attention to records and standings. Northwest Nazarene played at Seattle Pacific, and Seattle Pacific won by 10 up in the Emerald City. Woo, nearly a freaky move put in there from Elliot Demaculangan. This three-pointer is offline, and nearly a throwback put down by Emmanuel Oludele, but he can't get it to go. Now the kick out to Hafner. Hafner can't get the roll. Rebound goes to the Red Leafs, and a foul on champ Spencer, I believe. Got a couple good chances for the Red Leafs there, and you saw the wingspan and just the athletic ability from
He's
Oladele
a freshman.
there. Yeah.
Wow.
The freshman, 6'6", 205 out of Niagara Falls, Ontario, leading scorer.
Can you
on
imagine
this
if
Red
he
Leaf
sticks
squad.
around?
Yeah, that is
2,
has a
3,
chance
4
to be
years.
one of the really good
Highlight
players.
reel.
Yeah. He's the man playing on the inside right now against this 2-3 zone. Cross-court pass thrown and received by Demakilangan.
7 to shoot.
Shot clock running down.
Man, he is fast.
Zaborniak
Short.
shoots it over Champ Spencer. Yeah, just too big to shoot it over there if you're the 5'11 Zaborniak. And now the Saints the other way. Champ Spencer, bucket.
Could tell when it left his hand, it was money.
He just has, when he's spotted up and ready for it, his shot is just so pure. Red Leafs coming the other way. Now it's Zaborniak inside. And there's a travel called on the Red Leafs. Oladele shuffled his feet. Elsewhere in GNAC basketball, the Yellow Jackets of MSUB continue their solid season thus far. At home, they took down Central Washington 63-47 earlier today.
Yellow Jackets, always feisty.
Yeah, they got a good squad. I think they got some really good transfer. We got to see them here as Skinny gets a wide open look, and he can't make it. Champ Spencer rebounds it. He can't make it. Rebound goes to Skinny eventually after all is said and done. Now Stokes with it. Gets it to Jakeem Alcindor. Skinny from distance. Strokes it in. 31-19, just like that. The Saints have a double-digit advantage.
Well, the hot shooting of Simon Fraser, they've really cooled off, just 43% now.
This one is Demakilangan who misses it. Rebound goes to George Lefebvre, and Lefebvre puts it back and in.
Split the double team, went up strong.
Skinny now down to Alcindor. Alcindor against Lefebvre. Alcindor wins that matchup. He puts it in to answer Lefebvre's bucket. Again, a 4-out, 1-in look from the Red Leafs against the 3-2 defense, 2-3 defense. There's the step back on the way, too long. Nobody's there to box out Lefebvre, and Lefebvre throws it down.
Wanted the foul, didn't get it. 10-point ball game.
Yeah, I thought he got a check right in the chest. As we got 7 minutes to go, 33-23 our score line here for Marcus Pavilion. Hafner to Spencer. Man-to-man defense from the Red Leafs. Now it's Skinny. 7 on the shot clock. Now 5. Kicked out to Spencer as shot clock's running down. He needs to shoot, and he puts it off back iron, nearly rebounded by Alcindor, but it goes to the Red Leafs. They'll push the fast break, cross court. Demakilangan. Stokes might have got a tip on it, but it didn't matter, as that was a great shot with the lengthy Nathaniel Stokes in his face.
Great rotation. It barely even touched the net.
Right back at it. Nathaniel Stokes answers with a three-pointer of his own. He contested that shot and then went down and spotted up for a 3. 6 minutes to go in this exciting first half. Down to Lefebvre, and then inside, missed by Jamal Wright. Rebound goes to Stokes, and he'll bring it up himself. Nearly lost it about 10 times there, but Alcindor gets it. Alcindor throws it right to David Penny.
Not sure what he was looking at.
And a carry will be called.
Quite the late call, but the right call.
Yeah, I think the other 2 refs might have been running, and the ref across the court caught the carry. It will be Saints ball when we come back. 5:44 to go. It's 36-26. Back here, and Skinny will bring it up for the Saints. The 5 on the floor for SMU. Brandon Bunn, Jaden Nielsen-Skinner, Kyle Greeley, Nathaniel Stokes, and Christian Hafner. Ball tipped out of bounds. It will be a throw-in for Nathaniel Stokes and the Saints. 20 on the shot clock for SMU to do something. I think a set play coming out here. Couple screens. Probably meant to get Hafner an open shot. He could not get one. Now Bunn will get it with 5. Yep. He'll fire one up. And no contact with the rim. Shot clock violation on the Saints.
Uh-oh.
And Nathaniel Stokes on that rebound went down.
Bunn's still down as well.
Leg. Bunn's
goodness.
up with a little bit of a limp.
Don't tell me.
Stokes down right now. He's in a lot of pain, so we're just going to go ahead and take a break while our head athletic trainer, Isaac Tompkins, takes a look at him. And we'll be right back. It's still 36-26 Saints ahead. Back here, Nathaniel Stokes just limped off the floor with our head athletic trainer, Isaac Thompson, putting no weight on his left leg, ankle area. Of course, let you know if we know anything. Just hope that it is not as bad as it looked from up here. And I know he's in the best of hands with Isaac Tompkins over there. Missed shot by the Red Leafs. Coming the other way now. Brandon Bunn puts it to Veljko Ilić, who gets his shot partially blocked, and then a foul will be called on Ilić there. 4th foul called on the Saints. There have been none called on SFU in the first nearly 16 minutes of play here.
Very few free throws, just 2 in the game, 0 for the Saints.
Only other men's basketball game in action at the moment, as we had a final from the other 2 that I reported to you. Right at about the same time in their game, Western Oregon leads Western Washington. There's a three-pointer up and good from George Lefebvre. 7-point lead for the Saints. Christian Hafner looked from a long way, and now here's Ilić bouncing around inside. Hook shot up and no good. Rebound, quick outlet. Penny to the hoop. Can't get it to go. Ilić, good hustle to get down and get the rebound. Now Skinny will move the other way. Ooh. First foul called on Simon Fraser on the hand check. That's Jovan Rye. We'll take our final media time out of this first half. 7-point lead for the Saints. Don't go anywhere on the Saints Digital Network. Back here, good news is you might have just seen him cross your screen there. I mean, he sticks out pretty well because he's 6'8", but Nathaniel Stokes did just walk across behind all the benches, and he was putting weight on both feet. So that's good to see from Nathaniel Stokes. Three-pointer on the way. Hafner misses, rebound to the Red Leafs.
Saints now shooting under 50% for the half, allowing Simon Fraser to climb back in this one after being down double digits.
St. Martin's scoreless in over 2.5 minutes, and
Nice.
There's a dunk from Jamal Wright.
Nice pass in the lane. Good movement by Wright underneath.
Hafner for three. He goes off back iron. Rebound again to the Red Leafs. Good boxing out we've seen to keep this scoreless streak going against SMU. Lefebvre pulls it out. Now ball down to Lefebvre, guarded by Illich. Thought about running a post move, instead gets it to Jamal Wright, and a foul is called on the Saints, either KG or Brandon Bunn. It
Nice.
will be on KG.
Strong move by Wright. Split the double team, got the foul.
Lefebvre in this early going has 14 points already. He's 6 for 7 from the field, and that means every time he touches the ball, the Saints are ready with the help defense, and he knew that and found his teammate Jamal Wright, who misses the first free throw. Jamal Wright out of Toronto, Ontario, a senior and a transfer from the University of Maryland Eastern Shore, which is a D1 institution. Both free throws missed by Wright. Screaming down the court with Skinny, gets it to Sipe. Sipe then kicks it out to Bunn. Bunn from long range puts it in.
It's one of those, Coach Landon has to be saying no, 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 yes,
Yep.
when it goes in.
Yep, exactly. You shake your head until it splashes, and then
Exactly how Coach drew it up from 40 feet.
Exactly. Dribbled inside, now kicked out. Lefebvre thought about a three.
Charge and a
is
half.
called. Hunter Sipe, the receiving end of it. Hunter Sipe, we talked to him after the Capilano game, which was the last men's basketball game we've had here all the way back on December 6th. And how Ibrahim Mustafa, our graduate assistant, SID here, and men's basketball contact put it, Hunter Sipe's going to probably be mayor of Olympia someday or something like that, because he is well known around this community for both his athletic endeavors and also being a great guy, as we get an air ball on the Saints on that possession.
Isn't it funny? Bunn can hit from 30 feet, and then he,
He gets
shoots
an
a
open
more
one. Yeah.
respectable, closer, normal three-pointer.
A higher percentage from the logo right now, it seems.
2 minutes and a half.
Lefebvre, he'll dial up from long range. Off the mark, rebound Skinny. Right into a dribble, pushing the fast break. Looking behind him to his Salem cohort, Kyle Greeley. Who puts it in, and a nifty pass. Shaquem Alcindor finishes it off, but the highlight was all KG on the assist.
Great vision by Greeley to see Alcindor all alone and to say, you know what, I'll take the assist this time.
10-point lead for the Saints with under a minute and a half to go. Lefebvre rotating around the offense. This is Rye inside. And a weak whistle there. I didn't hear the whistle until I looked down and saw everybody kind of stop playing, but it was Rye that got fouled before that putback dunk. And so it goes down for 2 free throws from the Markham, Ontario native. First free throw misses. And for a half that has not had a lot of free throws, still, Steve Hansen can't be happy with their percentage. They're 2 for 5 from the charity stripe. But maybe you should just be happy to have them, because the Saints have 0 shots from the free throw line. And we got a violation on somebody. So Rye will get another free throw to avenge himself on the lane violation. I thought there was a lane violation there because now I was watching it there. It might have been a red leaf that jumped early, but in the end, ball don't lie, I guess, because it was a missed free throw. 5 straight, if you include that mulligan, missed free throws.
What a
from
strip.
The Red Leafs. Yeah, that was Javon Rye that made up for his 3 missed free throws. As Hunter Sipe goes flying by, 3-pointer on the way. It misses, but right there for the alley-oop putback is David Penny. 41-33, 50 seconds to go. Skinny with it. They give him a lane to the hoop, and a foul is called on Rye. Nobody in foul trouble thus far because that's just the 8th foul called. They've all been on separate players, so there's 5 different Saints with 1 foul. And, well, actually, I take it back. That was Rye's 2nd, so he breaks the streak, the first one to give multiple fouls. 20 on the shot clock. Kick out to Spencer. Spencer for 3. Miss. Rebound, Kyle Greeley. Greeley puts it back up, but he's fouled for free throws coming for the Saints. Just took him 19 and a half minutes to get to the line.
Just off Greeley's miss, and by how much he was off on the shot, it was fairly obvious there was some form of a foul.
Yeah, he doesn't take a shot unless it's a high percentage look for him, and when he misses that badly, you tend to think something was up. And, of course, as I say that, he misses the free throw fairly badly. 41-33, trying to push the lead to 9 for the Saints. And he does. A made free throw. And likely Simon Fraser will hold and bleed this shot clock down, about a 4-second differential between game and shot clock.
Both teams right at 45% shooting for the half. The difference, 3-pointers, 5 made for SFU, 9 for SMU.
And a 9-point lead as
What a
this ball's
pass.
put under.
Wow.
And Jamal Wright again goes up and throws it down. They lose the ball to give Simon Fraser back a possession.
Oh, my goodness.
Missed shot put up, and then nearly another chance as this cross-court heave would not have counted anyway. So nearly giving up 4 points in a span of a few seconds. But in the end, it is not as bad as it could have been, and the Saints will take a 7-point lead into the locker room. Your quick hit thoughts from the first half, Sean?
You know, it's a quiet 7-point lead. You watch the first 20 minutes, it doesn't appear that the Saints are up 7 just by the way it was back and forth. Good defense on both sides, good shooting, but the shooting cooled off as we went through those first 20 minutes. And like I mentioned a moment ago, it's the 3-pointers, 9 made for St. Martin's, helping them to this 7-point lead.
And the reason they couldn't cruise and fly away with it is their last 5, they're 1 for 5 from 3-point land. That's the reason why Simon Fraser's keeping it at 7 right now. The leading scorer for the Saints going to the locker room, Kyle Greeley. Leading scorer for Simon Fraser and for both teams is George Lefebvre. We're going to take a quick break. We'll be back to bring you the rest of the first half stats as well as half number 2 here from Marcus Pavilion. Don't go anywhere. You're watching the Saints Digital Network. Back here at Marcus Pavilion, it's a 7-point lead for the St. Martin Saints at halftime, ranked number 23 in one of the polls in the most recent week. They are trying to continue an undefeated streak of conference play. In the first half, I mentioned as we went out, it was Kyle Greeley with the most points for the Saints, followed closely by Jaden Nielsen-Skinner, a.k.a. Skinny, as well as Champ Spencer with 8 apiece. Sean, the three-pointers, they made the difference in the early going. However, finished the half on a 1-for-5 run from three-point land, and that allowed Simon Fraser to get back into it. A big part of that, I think, was offensive rebounding and, man, the athleticism of some of these guys. Jamal Wright specifically showing off his hops with some dunks there.
The ebbs and flows of a game. St. Martin's with the threes, giving them the 7-point lead. But conversely, Simon Fraser, 16 points in the paint. But then on the other side, St. Martin's 11 points from the bench, just 3 for the Red Leafs. So we'll see in the next 20 minutes how this all irons out.
One of the best things we can say, one of the best developments we can say from that halftime is that Nathaniel Stokes, not just walking and putting weight on both feet, but he's warming up, and it looks like he's going to start this second half, which if you would have told me that, seeing how much pain he was in going down, I think both of us would not have believed that. But Stokes is walking out there on the court.
Well, he's being talked to by assistant coach right now, and we saw during warm-ups to start the second half that the trainer was talking to him. So, he's been checked out and vetted, and they wouldn't put him out there unless he was good to go.
Halftime down in Monmouth. It's a 42-41 lead for Western Washington over Western Oregon. Is there a name for that rivalry? The Battle of the Old West or something? Two Western teams as Lefebvre misses that.
Hey.
There's got to be something, right?
Nothing I've heard of, but hey, why not start it now? And that means a nice little comeback to end the first half by Western Washington because they were down early.
Yeah, they were down most of that first half against the Wolves, but with the lead in the locker room, we'll keep you updated on that one as we have a collision course on New Year's Eve. The final hours of 2022 will be a game between St. Martin's and Western Washington, as that one goes way too long. Just not a good release there from Emmanuel Oludele. Kyle Greeley with it now, spinning towards the hoop. Lost his handle on it, but it was off the Red Leafs.
Strong drive by Greeley, trying to use the left hand, but Wright getting a hand on the basketball.
Skinny will inbound as all four low. Popped up to Alcindor. And now Skinny with it on the wraparound. Looking for option, gets it out to Brandon Bunn. And
was just about to say nice defense by Simon Fraser until the foul.
Elliot Demaculangan got switched on to the much bigger Shaquem Alcindor. Also got a few more pounds on him as well. And quick inbounds into Brandon Bunn. It's blocked, but Shaquem Alcindor gets it back, puts it up way short, airballs it on the floater. And a bad possession for the Saints as they had a couple different options. And there's an airball that way. Rebound is poked to Kyle Greeley. Skinny with it. Skinny puts it in.
Back-to-back bad possessions on offense by Simon Fraser, and Skinny with the floater.
Yeah, nearly given right back to the Saints. Skinny now leads in points for the Saints with 10. Saints in the 2-3 zone with the higher wings there to prevent the three-point shooting. Oludele nearly taken away. Penny for three, and he nails it right as the shot clock was ticking down. Kyle Greeley with it. Now Stokes. Down to Shaquem Alcindor. Can't get it to go off glass. His battle with Lefebvre is been a fun one to watch down there. Now Lefebvre kicks it out. Oladele. Ooh. Ooh. Count it and the foul.
I know the Saints crowd and coach Aaron Landon do not like that call. They wanted the charge. But if I'm being honest, he was still moving. He was not set.
I think a big argument right now that Aaron Landon is making, as Oladele will shoot a free throw, is the classic one when you see the big guy go down is you can't call it because of his size. And like you said, feet were probably moving there, but it's hard for guys that are the size of Shaquem Alcindor to get charge calls to go their way. Aaron Landon sticking up for his guy, but to no avail. It's a 5-point lead for the Saints.
Wow.
And make it a 7-point lead.
I was shocked Greeley didn't continue to the hoop, but maybe that's why.
He had an open lane to the hoop there for a second, but he just said, no, I want a hand in my face. Turned around, fade away, popped it in. Three-pointer on the way. Short. Rebound goes to Nathaniel Stokes. Hunter Sipe prepares to check in for the Saints as Stokes tries a pick and roll with Skinny, but it's kicked out to Bunn. Bunn guarded by David Penny. As Steve Hansen tried to cheer on his defense, now it's Bunn. Rebound goes to Demaculangan. Back to Demaculangan. Nearly traveled, then drives, kicks it out. Three-pointer is short, and it doinks the head of Demaculangan. He was in perfect position to make the rebound, but it got him. Got him. A header is good in soccer, not so much in basketball.
Don't think he was expecting it to go directly straight down from the rim.
Yeah, that's you. I mean, that's the thing. He was in the right spot. But, yeah, you're never ready for that one. There's a foul called on Demaculangan.
That's one the team will laugh about on the bus ride back to Canada tonight.
Yeah, that is yeah, get a chuckle in the film room for sure. St. Martin's women's basketball team is on the other side, but if that would have happened right in front of them, I'm sure they would have let them hear it. As really they're one of the handful of representatives of St. Martin's students here, as most SMU students are home for the holidays, but there is a really good contingent of fans here.
Yeah, good turnout for, still holiday break time and a Thursday evening.
Stokes from deep off back iron, rebound Greeley. Fade away again, KG.
Money. Greeley heating up, 13 on the evening.
Skinny took the points lead, beat him to 10, but 2 buckets from KG and nearly a turnover for the Red Leafs. There's a bucket from Lefebvre, his first of the second half, I believe. And he has the Red Leafs back within 6. Bunn, long 2, missed, and that's going to be a rebound. That was a push in the back from Jovan Rye. We're going to take immediate timeout. When we come back, it'll be an inbound out of the basket for St. Martin's. It's a 6-point lead for the Saints. Don't go anywhere on the Saints Digital Network. Saints ball under the basket. Another update from down in Monmouth. 56-52 right now. Western Washington ahead. Another close one here. As we mentioned in the pregame, there's really no easy conference games. Everybody can give you a fight on any given night here in the GNAC.
Who would have thought Montana State Billings at 3-0 out the gate?
Sipe with an offensive rebound, then another offensive rebound, a putback, and a foul is called on, I believe, Jamal Wright, who interfered with Kyle Greeley there.
Scott, the Saints shooting better from behind the arc than overall. 42.9 from three, 39.6 for the game.
Sipe had it, tried to get it to KG, and KG was pushed in the back to try and refuse that pass. So all of a sudden there was barely any fouls in the first half, and I mentioned that. We see Brandon Bunn and number 1 Jimmy Zaborniak both get chewed out by the ref, saying something along the lines of, hey, number 0, number 1, we're not doing that. Don't know what they were doing, but when I looked down there, Bunn was walking away from whatever dusted up. This one's out to Bunn, who lost it.
Forgot the ball.
Ball squirts around like a fumble. And at the bottom of the dog pile, it's a jump ball that stays with the Saints.
A little surprised he didn't try to call a timeout there. Or the coaches, for that matter.
Yeah.
Simon Fraser coaches, since they had the basketball.
Nathaniel Stokes still out there. I don't know if he's even left the court in this second half, but grinding through what looked to be a really bad injury in the first.
A very pleasant surprise to see him out there and moving well. Short by Greeley.
Short by Greeley. Offensive rebound by Brandon Bunn, and he gets fouled by Zaborniak. Brandon Bunn, a fresh cut over the holidays, too.
I was going to mention he might be a little faster, a little more aerodynamic on the floor.
Exactly. We've seen him with a bunch of different hairdos. He's had the full fro out before. He's braided it back, and now just the short hair, and a free throw from him there. That is his 5th point of the game. 2 for 2 from the line for Brandon Bunn. And now he's locked in. I think that long possession there that in the midst of it had that little dust up with Zaborniak, I think that kind of got him locked in because he has a different kind of defensive stature right now.
What a drive.
Rye to the bucket, lays it in. Skinny all the way down. Champ Spencer misses the 3. Rebound, Zaborniak. Guarded by Skinny. Skinny got his hand to the pass. Lefebvre guarded by Spencer. Lefebvre spinning and blocked by either Stokes or Spencer. Rebound, Greeley.
That's a shot you shouldn't take when you're triple teamed.
Triple team.
What are the odds? Not good.
Now Spencer with it. He kicks out to Bunn. It was Spencer, Stokes drop down, and right behind those two was Kyle Greeley, who ended up getting that deflected shot. Brandon Bunn, step back, down the bucket.
He's definitely heating up here in the second half.
Yeah, you can tell when he kind of gets into that locked-in mode. And that one, it was like a downloaded simulation in 2K or something, the way he perfected that move on the larger Lefebvre.
Ironically, just the first three-pointer this half for the Saints.
9 in the first. Ooh. This one is a nice pass to beat the zone. Laid up by David Penny there.
Great job by Penny moving without the basketball. The crossover.
Brandon Bunn again.
You and our public address announcer on the same page.
Yeah, that was. I'm sure Ibrahim Mustafa down there doing the stats said the exact same thing at the exact same time too. Kick out and a foul, and probably a smart one, as it was a wide open route to the bucket for Javon Rye. Next foul is the bonus for the Saints if Simon Fraser commits a foul, then the Saints will go to the line. They have 6. Do the Red Leafs. Saints, that was just their second foul of this second half.
Statistically, this game is so close. It's almost a head scratcher how it's an 8-point lead for St. Martin's. Get into some numbers here in a sec.
Right inside, turnaround, got it to go, and that was Jamal Wright giving Kyle Greeley a little bit of his own medicine with that turnaround shot. Ball's into Shaquem Alcindor. There's a lot of fouling going on there from Victor Radachai, who looked more like an offensive lineman than a defensive post player. We'll see one-on-ones from Shaquem Alcindor when we come back. 11:55 to go in this contest. 6-point lead for the Saints. Back here, 11:55 to go in this second half. The Saints have led the whole way in this second half, but every time they've done something, Simon Fraser come right back and answered, and the stats really not that different from either side. As Shaquem Alcindor misses the front end of a 1-and-1. But a lane violation.
How many times are we going to have a lane violation? Did these guys not know how free throws work? Now go. Upon release.
And the mulligan works out. I've never seen a lane violation on a front end of a 1-and-1. But that is first time for everything, I guess, as Shaquem Alcindor makes do of it. He could turn 0 points into 2 because of that lane violation.
Oh, my goodness.
And we're going to see it the other way, a lane violation on Champ Spencer there, right after they were getting lectured about it.
Stuff like that has to make coaches' hair gray.
Oh, yeah.
It's so simple. Stay on your block until the shot's released.
Yeah.
But now, traveling on Simon Fraser.
Yeah, that's a couple mistakes here from the players that have coaches pacing up and down. As you can probably see, Aaron Landon walks all the way down to where the water is plenty of times. And a little more static is Steve Hansen right now, just stalled up right in front of the instant replay area. Brandon Bunn again.
What did Bunn have at halftime?
He now leads the team in scoring with 14.
What is his secret sauce?
Shaquem Alcindor just took that ball away, and then it was poked around and out off of the Saints. That was just like a man taking candy from a baby, the way Shaquem Alcindor took it away.
But he forgot to hang on to it.
Yeah, but he forgot to hang on to it.
Hot potato?
I guess it was something like that. Speaking of potatoes, you have plenty of good food for holiday meals?
Oh, man, we had so many potatoes. scallop
Yeah.
potatoes, regular mashed, sweet potato mashed, just in case, variety. Take
Okay.
your pick.
Okay.
Not everybody likes everything, or you can take a little of it all.
Are you a turkey guy, or you like ham, or what's your
Yes.
go-to? Okay.
We went ham
Ham.
this time,
All right.
but like it all. I want to go prime rib. I've never cooked a prime rib. I've been watching a lot of videos on how to do it right.
Okay.
I'll bring you some.
Foul call. Sounds good. When you perfect it, maybe not the first time. When you perfect it, then you bring it in.
Ouch.
Shot coming up from the Red Leafs. It's an air ball. Rye is on the other side, but now he's amongst the trees, and Shaquem Alcindor blocked that one, but it still went in. Brandon Bunn is rejected, but a foul. Not on the block, but on, I believe, Zaborniak, who was guarding the body there.
Let's see if we can not have lane violations this time.
Yeah, this will be interesting. I'll tell you what, I was back home in Montana briefly, and luckily my family knows how to hunt and hunt well.
Before all the snow and negative temperatures?
Right before. They were hunting before that, as Brandon Bunn makes the first free throw. They were hunting before that, so luckily they were, dealing with the kill and everything before that and not working through negative 72-degree wind chill, which it was at one point, as Bunn makes both. But I'll tell you what, right when I came there, that was right when they were cutting up all the meat and everything, and I got some venison to take home. So, that it was good timing for me to be able to have, some good spoils.
Did you drive or fly?
Drove. Yeah, 3 mountain passes on the way. You never know what you're going to get with Snoqualmie, but luckily got through it as the layup is up and good from Victor Radachai. And I drove with a parent each way. I drove with my dad back home, drove with my mom back here. So, it wasn't the solo 11-hour drive, as we're going to get a kind of unconventional and one here as Shaquem Alcindor makes the layup, and then they call the flop on George Lefebvre there. So now Christian Hafner will get a shoot, the conversion of a pseudo and one.
Alcindor is a big man.
Yeah.
I wouldn't want him bumping into me either.
Right now we're waiting for No, they're just going to let Brandon Bunn be on this side of the half-court line, I guess. Christian Hafner makes the free throw. The first time I think I've seen an and one of that proportion with the new flopping rules in effect this season. Before you got a warning, and then the next time your team had a flop,
right,
it would go about like that. And now it's first time, and trust me, there's plenty of chatter about it around the college basketball world, from D1, D2, D3, all the way through on the rules about that one. There was a lot of passing there. And then a foul on the Red Leafs.
No, Saints.
No.
Alcindor.
Huh. On the shot there?
I think after the shot.
After the shot? Oh, yeah, they called on the ground. Maybe. So some sort of kind of offensive foul, I guess, after the possession was with the Saints. Interesting. Almost could have got a flop called the other way, as Christian Hafner maybe sold that push off a little bit too much. Skinny with almost a great layup, missed, and Shaquem Alcindor jumps over a Red Leaf and doesn't get called for that one there. Yeah, okay. Missed three.
Gosh.
Rebound goes to the Red Leafs after 3 Saints touched it, and they put it up and in. Brandon Bunn with it on the other side. This has been a weird couple minutes.
How many Saints missed that rebound? That was a 2-point gimme on the other end.
It was more hot potato, apparently. Brandon Bunn with it, guarded by Jovan Rye.
It's an important possession if they can get back to double digits, and they do, because the bun is in the oven, hot and ready.
Brandon Bunn. That was good. That was good right there. Talking about all this food talk, too, right?
Yes, sir.
He got the screen from Shaquem Olajuwon, and as soon as Javon Rye went under the screen, he said, well, I guess I'll take it from three-point land. Right back at it. What? Coming down the other way. Skinny with it. Skinny now guarded by Wright.
Man, he's fast.
He is so electric at the ball. Good rebound, except his toe is on the line. Nearly a good rebound and a toe tap from Shaquem Alcindor. And he'll get subbed off for Kyle Greeley. 9-point lead for the Saints. Mentioned they've been in control this whole second half, really, since they had that run of a couple three-pointers midway through the first half. They've been between 5 and 10 points pretty much this whole time. But Simon Fraser not letting the Saints get away.
Simon Fraser led for the first 3:17 of the contest, and that has been it.
Now they're bringing it down. It's Demaculangon with it. Out to Wright. Back to Demaculangon. Can't get the three to go. Rebound, Christian Hafner. Hunter Sipe will get it to Brandon Bunn. They'll set it up. Bunn now double teamed. Kicked out to Hafner. Hafner almost saves it. Probably better that he didn't, because if he did, it might have been a wide open fast break for the Red Leafs. That stoppage in play will give ourselves a chance to take a break. 7:44 to go in the contest. 66-57. St. Martin's leads. Back here, and we have a 9-point lead for the Saints. Simon Fraser ball. And update down from Monmouth, 81-73. Western Washington leads. Stepping out is Demaculangon. If both of these results hold, it will be a matchup for first place in the GNAC on New Year's Eve right here. Sean and I will be, they're both undefeated. They're
in conference,
in conference,
gotcha.
Same conference. Matchup for first place in the GNAC. And there could be a tie. Somebody else could be undefeated, I guess, as well. Hunter Sipe, beautiful move to the bucket.
Such a effortless-looking move. I know it's not, but that was just smooth.
Yeah. Hunter Sipe, yet again, he's one of my favorite players just to watch, just because he does kind of all the dirty work on the court and is able to get some good looks as well. There's good defense on the Simon Fraser top scorer, but it's kicked to Wright, and Wright puts it from just under the free throw line.
10 points now for Wright. 9-point lead for St. Martin's.
Sipe with it now, motion offense as the team is rotating around. Christian Hafner, holy moly, from downtown.
That's 2 for 2 from the parking lot. Bunn and now Hafner.
Yeah, man, St. Martin should just start, instituting a 3-point line here at this, or a 4-point line here at this court, because
a lot of the Globetrotters.
Yeah. Just back them up, and they get better as they go further away. Lefebvre with it.
6 to shoot.
Right for three. He puts it in.
He's
and
heating up.
again, they answer. They answer, and it's been different players stepping up in different moments. Right, maybe one of his best games of the season. We see a flop.
How?
What?
Aaron Landon doesn't agree, and how was there a flop when nobody's on the floor?
I mean, there was contact there, and
On both sides.
They're calling. I mean, he stumbled and maybe he traveled. I don't. Whew.
Aaron Landon is not liking that call at all.
I mentioned the controversy that I've seen, and because I've worked in D3 before, I follow a lot more D3 basketball. But I know that a lot of the people that I follow D3 basketball have been sharply critical of the flopping changes as Champ Spencer misses the three-point line, and that's one where, you know, you go, oh, we're calling that. If he stumbles and thinks he, you know, got tripped, we're calling that a flop, and it's going to be a free throw. And there have been key games all over the NCAA that have been changed because of that call. There's a floater by Demakya Langon, and it's a 6-point lead for the Saints.
Important possession for St. Martin's. If they can get it back to 8 or 9, safe territory. But if Simon Fraser can cut it under 6, they've been within 6 a lot. Money.
Every time you say it's an important possession,
right?
they come through.
Twice here in the second half.
You tell them.
And they've hit threes.
They got the feed down there probably right on the St. Martin's sideline. They know. Important possession, knock it down. 9-point lead for the Saints. Penny with it. Penny.
Ooh.
Demakya Langon. No look. Nearly hurt a fan with a fastball out there, but a good snag up from Oludele is deleted by the missed three. Hunter Sipe from downtown yet again. 12-point lead in the blink of an eye. Timeout, Simon Fraser.
The dagger from Hunter.
That is a tough one to get.
Sipe.
Yeah, we will take a brief break. 12-point lead for the Saints. 2 quick Hunter Sipe threes. And all of a sudden, Simon Fraser needs some points quick. Back here after the timeout from Simon Fraser, Steve Hansen trying to do what he can to tell his offense to get some points that they need. Wright will answer, cut the deficit to 10.
Right now with 15. Wow, no look pass by Bunn.
And poked away. It will stay with the Saints. Hunter Sipe immediately went over to Brandon Bunn and said, I was not expecting that pass. He nearly took my head off, but good luck. And now Bunn will inbound.
I don't think anybody was except Bunn.
Christian Hafner with it. Now he'll drive off balance, misses a shot. Rebound Kyle Greeley. Easy money on the offensive board.
15 tonight for Kyle. 13-point lead for St. Martin.
I said you're guaranteed 15 pretty much every night from him, and that's just the average day. As the three-pointer comes right back from David Penny.
Good-looking shot, back to single digits. The deficit for Simon Fraser, but time not on their side.
Yeah, Aaron Landon imploring his players to take their time with every possession. Brandon Bunn goes into shimmy, shake, and finish mode to make it an 11-point lead for the Saints.
21 for Bunn tonight, most in the second half.
Brandon Bunn, 19 on the day. There's an offensive board, but it's put back, and Lefebvre is fouled. We're going to take our final media timeout of this contest. 81-70 is our score. 3:09 to go. Don't go anywhere. Good finish coming up from right here at Marcus Pavilion. Back here, 3:09 to go. It's 81-70. The St. Martin Saints lead the Simon Fraser Red Leafs. Shot coming up from the charity stripe for George Lefebvre, who has impressed me quite a bit today. Both him and Jamal Wright have had great games. Problem is that Brandon Bunn has turned it on in this second half. Kyle Greeley has done what Kyle Greeley does, and Hunter Sipe has hit some big shots down the stretch here to keep a cushion for the Saints. Lefebvre makes both free throws. Lead is 9 for St. Martin's. No press put on at this point by Simon Fraser. Wright will just meet Bunn at half court. Ooh, pretty pass. Brandon Bunn, when he's not scoring, he'll just dump that one right to KG. KG now at 17. Just 2 behind the leader, which is Bunn with 19. Behind the back pass to Wright. He misses from 3. Rebound goes to Brandon Bunn. He'll slow up the offense. Well, maybe he won't. Hunter Sipe splashes for 3.
Could he be more open?
There's a handful of assists in just the blink of an eye. As Hunter Sipe now 14 on the day. Missed shot. Rebound gets to Wright, and Wright puts it in. And we're going to get a timeout with 2:17 left and a 12-point lead for the Saints. I'm thinking, Sean, this is the timeout that you institute the full court press and kind of put your last-ditch effort into to get as many points as quickly as possible.
I'll tell you what, Jamal Wright not giving up, not giving in. He has 17 on the night. Not the leader for Simon Fraser, though. George Lefebvre with 20.
Yeah, Lefebvre with 20. Penny is the other Red Leaf in double figures. He's got 16 points. Three-pointers, really the biggest difference in this game, pretty much. It is 8 three-pointers from the Red Leafs, which isn't a bad mark to put up, but the Saints, who have the 14th best three-point offense in the country, They have bested their average of around 11, 12 a game. They have 15 tonight from three-point land. Oh, we got a good one going down in Monmouth. We're going to keep an eye on that finish and tell you about it as it happens. Right now, Western Washington up 2 with 3 minutes to go down in Monmouth over Western Oregon. Kyle Greeley misses the first shot. Hunter Sipe misses the second shot, and the rebound goes to Lefebvre.
Time to let the three-pointers fly if you're Simon Fraser, down 12.
And that's what they'll do right from downtown. Can't get it to go. Back iron, though, goes to Penny. He'll fire from three-point land, and he'll miss. Rebound, bounced around. Brandon Bunn eventually gets it. Bunn takes some contact, and flying down the court, goes behind the back, and still has it after plenty of weaving, dipping, and ducking, and diving, and dodging, and then getting fouled, going to the free throw line. He will shoot 1 and 1. 12-point lead for the Saints as fans start to think about putting on their jackets here as the final buzzer just 1:27 away. And yes, they're probably putting on a jacket, but not the full parka and 12 layers that they would have needed about a week ago when the deep freeze took over America. Head coach Steve Hansen taking exception to a St. Martin's fan calling for a flop there, but the way we've seen the flop called, not just tonight, but throughout the season, who knows? Maybe you can get a flop there. We've seen a couple instances tonight for different calls of you call it on one side, so you have to look for it on the other side then. We got that with the flop, and we got that with the lane violation. 3 of them in tonight's contest.
With 16 points tonight, David Penny is the only one for Simon Fraser that was on the preseason all-conference team.
Okay, yeah, not a lot expected out of this Simon Fraser squad. They will start 0-2 in conference play unless they perform a miraculous comeback here. Hunter Sipe, a ton of effort to try and get that rebound, but in the end it's dipped back into a red leaf, and Wright gets the and one. 1-point game down in Monmouth, Oregon. Western Washington still holds the lead, and they, the way I'm looking at it, Western Oregon has the ball. Press is nearly perfect. In the end, it will be a foul before the Champ Spencer three-pointer. Looking at foul trouble, only Rye is in foul trouble. For either side, he has 4, and he is on the court, so could be potential for a foul out here from him. Rye has played a ton of minutes tonight, 21, but hasn't contributed as much in terms of stats. 3 for 3 from the field with 6 points, 3 rebounds, 1 assist. Both free throws missed by Skinny. 11-point lead still with the Saints. Western Oregon has the lead. 85-84 over Western Washington right now down in Monmouth. And Rye puts it in, right? Right when I say that he hasn't done all that much, it's a long 2. And he's 4 for 4 from the field, and a quick foul on Skinny.
Well, Scott, I think, I may have to go back and watch the on-demand version of this game later, but I think we've done well. And you don't know this team other than the Red Leafs, but since 2018, I've called this team the Clan, as Simon Fraser's been known for many years. And apparently, since 2020, they decided they were going to retire the Clan, and they started searching for a new name. An extensive search took over 2 years to come up with Red Leafs.
They were nameless for those 2 years, I believe, yeah, which, as somebody who has to write post-game articles, as Wright splashes in the 3, it's an 8-point lead, or no, They actually called that a 2. They called that a 2-pointer. So that's makes it a 9-point lead instead of an 8-point lead. And Javon Wright will foul out of this contest. And Jaden Nielsen-Skinner going to get some more chances for some free points at the line. He's at 12 on the day, 4th in scoring behind Hunter Sipe, Kyle Greeley, and the leader in scoring with 23, Brandon Bunn. Check that. That was actually Rye who fouled out of the contest and was called for the foul there. 2 shots for Jaden Nielsen-Skinner as we slowly will bleed down the final 40 seconds of this game. And I hope we don't spend too much more of this time at the free throw line, but Simon Fraser not letting this loss come easy.
Scott Bunn has 23 on the night to lead all scorers. He only had 5 at half.
I'll tell you what, we go back and look at this. It was the talking to when the ref came and said, number 1, Zaborniak, who's out there, and number 0, no, I don't want any more of that. So whatever was said in that little dust-up, as we get a missed shot and a free throw coming for Skinny now again, whatever was said in that dust-up, that lighted a fire for Brandon Bunn. And he came out, and his defense, you could tell, and then his offense, I mean, he went into, like, you know, I call it 2K mode because it looked like just somebody playing with the predetermined, you know, different dribbling moves and step back, boom, boom, boom.
Well, I have a feeling you might be able to ask him postgame.
Yeah, we'll see who head coach Aaron Landon brings up.
Say, hey, what did the officials say to you there?
Or what did you?
Can you keep it PG?
What did you say? What did you say? What was the conversation like in there? And you know, but I don't even know if I want to tell that because then Western Washington will know what not to say to him to get him to score 18 points in the second half. Skinny with a couple more free points. Borniak's way offline. That didn't hit anything. And then a nice play there by number 3, Penny. Pokes it back off of Kyle Greeley. And Simon Fraser. Well, I want to be in that huddle right now to see what Steve Hansen is going to dial up to score 13 points in 22 seconds. Don't go anywhere. You're watching the Saints Digital Network. Welcome back. 22.7 to go. It's an inbound coming for Penny and the Red Leafs. Great job by our PA announcer, Joe, who also runs the music, playing Never Gonna Give You Up as a hint to Steve Hansen to maybe give this one up as the missed shot is rebounded by Kyle Greeley. He'll take it over the halfway ticker. And the home fans here that have shown up on a Thursday night, student sectionless, but not without support. The St. Martin Saints are 3-0 in GNAC conference play. They are 1-0 at home in conference play, and their quest to repeat as GNAC regular season champs is very likely in the cards. We have Western Washington, Western Oregon. We can call this one live for you right now. There's 5 seconds left in a tie game. Western Washington, step back.
D'Angelo Minnis.
Oh, he missed it, and the tip back nearly was put in by Western Washington, but instead the Wolves And the Vikings are going to overtime down in Monmouth, which if you're a Saints fan, here's why it matters. First of all, the standings, it's still early going. You never know who's going to compete. And Western Washington could be one of those teams that competes for the crown, very likely so. 2, 5 extra minutes. You never know how that's going to play into the game in 2 days between these squads on Saturday night, Western Washington and Western Oregon. If there's any developments in that game during the post-game show, we're going to keep you updated on it. But for now, we'll take a quick break. We'll talk to head coach Aaron Landon as well as a player from the victorious St. Martin's squad. So join us stay on the broadcast. Probably pull up the Western Oregon broadcast in your other tab. If I were you, that's what I'd do. And we'll be right back to bring you a post-game interview, wrap this thing up, and then see the end of the contest down in Western Oregon. Okay, don't go anywhere. We'll be right back with post-game interview. Welcome back. Scott Gladstone here with head coach Aaron Landon. Coach, 3-0 in conference play. Good start, getting off to the 1-0 start here at home. Just talk to me kind of about the flow of that game, especially when you guys got that lead. Even though you had it, every time you guys made a big shot, Simon Fraser came back with a big shot. They kept it in it. They had a lot of players step up at different points. But you guys had guys that, finished it off, and obviously, Brandon Bunna we get to talk to. He turned it on there, and Hunter Sight made those 2 threes in a row. There was a lot of these moments, but they kept it close. What was it about this game that kind of stood out to you?
Well, for those 2 guys you mentioned, it was their South Puget Sound Community College education. Been lucky to have these guys for a while. They're awesome players, and they did a lot for us. That's a super weird game. I wish that GNAC would drop this game and just let us play our travel partner on the Saturday. It's so tough because you come back, 2 practices, and Tyke was real sick, so I actually missed yesterday's practice. Coach Velasquez did an awesome job getting these guys ready. That's a game where you just have to have a ton of scrap in your heart because it's going to be a weird game. It's going to be a sloppy game. It's kind of like starting the season over, even though we were just playing a little bit more than a week ago. So just proud of our resilience. A lot of stuff to clean up, but shot the lights out at home, so I guess it's good to be on our home rims.
Yeah, a little bit of a step back. You mentioned kind of the awkwardness. Obviously, a trip down to Hawaii, that was a lot of fun, a good experience for the guys. You guys got 2 big wins against good D2 foes. And then, I saw your tweet about, kind of the awkwardness of December 26th, and these guys, they have to leave. A lot of them have to leave their families right away and everything like that. How important is it that you have this game to get these guys, back into the game mindset? Because this is a conference game. It's an important game, and to kind of capture the positives from the holidays and everything, and bring it back and turn it to kind of this family.
Totally. That's didn't want to talk about it a ton. I talked about more kind of where we were at in the course of our season, but that's an absolute must-win game for us. That was a must-win tonight. The only thing that, you acknowledge with the guys when they come back is that everybody's going through the same thing. So Simon Fraser, minimal prep. They got to get down across the border. They got to come down, live in a hotel, and, get ready to play us. So nobody's ready. The break, it's great for us. It's hard to get pulled back into it so quick. A lot of these guys had to travel on Christmas, which is really hard for their families, which is why I tweeted that. I was feeling it, and I live, 20 minutes down the road on the west side of town. So, like, this guy's coming from New York. Kiss your mom goodbye. It's got to sting a little bit more than my deal. And I still wasn't quite ready. I was having a nice break. Watching Yellowstone, your home state. That's how life really is out there in Montana.
Well, it was a little
right?
colder when I was there in Montana, but yeah, similar.
Yeah, so just, watching TV and catching up on rest felt great going into the break. And, we ended on a high note in Hawaii, but we knew that, this game, I was telling our guys, conference games, one single conference game is more important than all three of those games. Everything's going to be about conference for us, and we're dealing with some stuff with Tyke out. Thinking about him. He's probably turned it off and gone to bed. But, thinking about him and hoping we can get him back. Nate rolls the ankle but is able to play through it and show some toughness, and that's big time for us. A lot of different guys had to step up.
Finally, probably a game that's, circled in a way on the schedule every year, but especially this year with how, non-conference play kind of looked. New Year's Eve against Western Washington. Similar to you guys in a lot of ways. They shoot the lights out. And it's going to be a big factor, kind of who can hit that three-point ball. And if you guys can shoot like you did tonight, you guys are going to be hard to beat. They're currently in overtime with Western Oregon down in Monmouth. What's kind of your mindset going into that game with Western Washington?
Just curious who Sean's going to root for, since he's
All
comes
right.
from Western. No,
All right.
Honestly, they're a really good team, and so I don't mean this in a dismissive way, toward them. We just we got so much stuff that we're worried about with us. Who's going to be ready? Who's going to be available? Yeah. Different guys stepping up. We found a rhythm in Hawaii. You acknowledge that. I mean, that was good, but, like, he would say, I don't know what you're talking about with a rhythm. He wasn't in a rhythm. He came back and refocused and found his rhythm tonight. And obviously scored it well, and I'm sure you guys will talk about that. Yeah. Scored it super efficiently, hit his free throws. But, for us, he really had to he's becoming basically a primary ball handler for us when Skinny's out of the game, and we're trying to strengthen his game by playing those guys together so there's not pressure on him to run a team. But tonight, like, he's got to, manage ball screens, and Skinny's out of the game, and, when he has the ball in his hands, like, we got to play with him like we would with Skinny. Having two ball handlers on the floor is really how we want to play. And a couple turnovers, but really I think 2 of the 3 came in the first half. Thought he made really good decisions, obviously like some highlight passes and hit some really tough shots. But just thought that he was under control. And that's something, we were talking a lot about coming back from Hawaii. I was driving him to the airport, probably talking his head off the whole time. He really was able to slow down, find a rhythm tonight. And so, it's never like there's this one moment or your team's firing on all cylinders. There's somebody that's always trying to find their way, and there's other guys that are, experienced in their highs, but they got to be ready when they're low to get picked up by somebody else and bounce back. So it's just always this long deal. And, super proud of him tonight. Just without his sort of aggression, I don't know how ready we are for that game. We really needed some aggression. We were hoping it would come from the front court. Thought it really came from our guards. Thought he really provided that, and I thought Hunter Sipe did a ton too, just with a bunch of tough plays and a bunch of stuff that doesn't show up in the box score. So our team was great taking care of the ball, and we'll feel good about that and try to build on it for Western.
All right, well, let's hand the headset over here to Brandon Bunn. Thanks, Coach. Brandon, your coach was just talking about it, especially kind of getting into your rhythm. For me, watching this game, there was a moment when the ref kind of told you and one of their players, knock it off. There was probably some smack talking going on. Mm-hmm. And it was right after that when you flipped a switch. So for you, what was it about, kind of taking the back and forth and turning it into, let's drop some threes, let's drop some dimes, let's get to a win?
To be honest, I wasn't really worried about him. It's more about winning the game. I could care less of what he was doing, just trying to get to my spot on the floor. It wasn't really nothing worried about him.
Take me back to Hawaii. Obviously, you guys dropped the tough game in overtime against Chaminade, but maybe some basketball, some not basketball, just the experience of, going to Hawaii and playing, the sport you love. Just talk to me about that trip. How was it for you?
It was beautiful. Being 90-degree weather when it's snowing outside. It's 14 degrees in New York right now, and I get to go to 90-degree weather. That was great. Walk around with shorts on. I mean, it was cool. I had a good time. I mean, I didn't really play that well. I'm not going to lie. I didn't play that well, but it was a great experience for me to just, experience something like that.
Yeah, talk about your relationship with your coach, Aaron Landon. He's somebody that – he mentions that, he's constantly trying to teach you and you're constantly, absorbing and learning from him, and you guys have a good back and forth. What is about Coach Aaron Landon that's kind of fun to play for and allows you that when you get into a mode like that, you can just take over and help the team win?
He just expects a lot out of all of us. It's not one person in particular. I mean, he's hard on everybody, but I feel like he's hard on me just because he expects a lot out of me. It's not anything like, it's just you got to coach how you got to coach in order for us to win.
All right, Brandon, well, thank you a lot. We'll see you on New Year's Eve against Western Washington.
I appreciate it.
Thank you. All right, well, we will be right back to wrap this up. Me and Sean Wally will hop on the mic and give you the closing thoughts here from Lacey. Well, the 40 or so of you that are still with us, first of all, once we're done here, we invite you to turn over to Western Oregon Athletics YouTube page. Watch the end of that game at 91-91. Last you looked over there?
91-91,
okay.
2 minutes left. Potential for some double OT maybe.
Okay. Could get interesting down there, and I'm sure maybe some of the guys might be tuning in to that one down in the locker room. Let's kind of close the book on this one and look to that Western Washington game, which, we'll see if it's a battle of undefeateds in the GNAC. But no matter what, even if Western Washington drops this one against Western Oregon, it's going to be a big game, and it's going to be two squads that love to shoot, love to score, love to play offense, but at the same time have great weapons on defense and can make plays on the defensive side of the ball. You're somebody that knows Western Washington well. Obviously, you know St. Martin's well from your time up in Bellingham, but as well, plenty of the games that you've seen this year. What do you expect from that battle that we get at 5:15 on Saturday night?
Well, similar to what's going on down in Monmouth, a fierce battle just back and forth like a prize fight. If Western Washington can pull it off, come in here undefeated in conference, that would just amp that game up even more. If they have the one loss, they're going to take it on the chin, but they will be ready to play. Coach Tony Dominguez and crew will have them ready for battle. They'll have tomorrow to rest, regroup, and the Saints got to be ready. They did well tonight, took Simon Fraser out, and, Simon Fraser overall played pretty well, but Saints, they really are the better team on paper, and they showed it on the scoreboard.
Yeah, without Tyke Thompson, one of their best players, they were able to rise above. We'll see his status for Saturday. On Saturday, that will be a key factor for sure. And in general, being at home in this first matchup, and, we got a great crowd here on a Thursday night. Saturday night, New Year's Eve, we'll see what the crowd brings, and we'll see what 2022 can close us out with. It's going to be a good one.
It'll be very interesting you mentioned the crowd because it is New Year's Eve, but I think it's early enough for both games.
Yeah.
The women at 3, men at 5:15. Little pre-funk action before the ball drops.
Yeah, exactly. Well, as you said, the ball will drop here, or it'll go up, I guess,
through
for
the
tip-off.
rim?
Yeah, it'll drop through the rim. Go up for tip-off through the rim, hopefully, here at 3 o'clock for the women's game on Saturday and 5:15 for the men's game, that Western Washington St. Martin's marquee matchup to close out 2022 and bring us into 2023. Sean, any final words?
Thanks to Sydney and Zane and Ibrahim.
Thanks to Zane, Sydney, and Ibrahim for all they do. We'll get
and to Scott Gladstone.
And to Sean Wally.
Thank you, sir.
For Sean Wally, my name is Scott Gladstone. The final score 94-81. St. Martin's is 3-0 in GNAC play. Simon Fraser falls on this Thursday night. We'll see you on Saturday night to close out 2022.